tell us about the podcast that you guys have here at St. Anthony.
Sure. So we have a podcast called Beyond the Bulletin. It's essentially what's in the bulletin, but a little bit beyond. You know what I mean?
Oh, I never would have guessed.
So, Mike Gormley works here. I think you just interviewed him. I don't know in podcast time if that's going to be before or after this conversation, but he is a great podcaster. Actually, he has his own setup and everything. So he had this going with my predecessor, and so when I came on board after I got settled, I was like, hey, let's do it. Let's start it back up. So I sort of took the lead on it because Mike's been busy with a lot of other things, but he is on a lot of the shows. And what we like to do is take a tour of the parish. We want to meet the staff, meet the parishioners, meet the people who make St. Anthony's what it is. See, I guess, a different view than you might from, especially of like our priests and deacons. I love to have them on if we can get them scheduled.
They're so busy.
Yeah. But to have them sort of loosen up and find out about them a little bit is really cool. But a lot of the podcast turn out to be just that, a tour of St. Anthony of Padua. And then the other half are Mike and I talking about some theological subject that he knows a lot about and I don't know anything about. So it's me just basically asking questions, and he says a lot, and I say, wow, could you say all that again slower? But they're all it's very fun. As you know, podcasting is a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
So we've done, I don't know how many of those we've done by now, but we also release our homilies on the same. Yeah,
I've heard a couple of them. Yeah, that's awesome that you guys are able to record them and post them for people who might have missed them.
Yeah. So if you go to the 9 and another priest did the 11, you can probably catch that podcast. So all of this is made possible by Jay Martin, who is our marketing and media manager, and he is the tech guy.
He's the dude behind the scenes.
He's the behind the scenes guy for a ton of different things. So the podcast, all our videos that we produce, the mass itself. I mean, when we were streaming, he did all of that, and we still stream a couple masses a weekend. And then not to mention all the social medias and everything like that. So Jay's the one, the engine behind everything. Mike and I are just the pretty faces, or just the faces maybe. We couldn't do it without Jay.
Yeah, we hope to get Jay on the show soon.
He'd have a lot to say. I think you guys could talk for a long time about this like medium. Because I don't know a lot about microphones and how to make things sound good or anything like that. But I think you guys could really, you guys could nerd out about all of that.
Yeah, we've had guests that have been really into it, and we just chit chat with them about gear and stuff all the time. Yeah.
And Jay's interesting. He's more online than I am, and he's like on Catholic Twitter, and so he's involved in all of that world. I'm not at all. So he's got a really interesting perspective, I think.